What happens when a powerful bull ant comes face to face with a redback spider? Only one will live another day. In the ant world, life is all about the colony. Ants work as a team, all for one and one for all. But for this species, going solo is allowed. It's even encouraged. This is the bull ant. Growing up to 1 inch long, it's one of the world's largest. Big enough to fend for itself. Its huge jaws are fearsome enough. They lock like a vice, inescapable. But it's the other end you really need to worry about. This lethal stinger delivers venom in multiple doses.
The bull ant sting is one of the most painful things in the world. And unlike a bee, they can sting over and over and over again.
Although it's a tough guy, this worker is tempting fate today, out on its own, a long way from home. It's on a mission to bring home food for the colony's larvae. Everyone's depending on it.
Bull ants are free-roaming wanderers who hunt alone, and they don't actually eat what they catch. Instead, they take it back to the nest for the larvae, who have an absolutely insatiable appetite.
To the bull ant, the world is a chaotic landscape of sights and smells. So it needs hyperactive antennae and bulging eyes. But the bull ant has something else. Twin claws on every foot give it the powers of an action hero with attitude.
The bull ant is the pit bull of the insect world. He's aggressive, fearless, and will take on any opponent, even those much larger than himself.
And bull ants will take their captives, dead or alive. Their sensors are always on high alert.
A bull ant has an incredible capacity for detecting scent and smell. It can tell it not just who's around, but what it's doing.
This spider is a casualty of another skirmish. But the bull ant makes sure, with a kill shot from its lethal stinger. It's not fussy. This spider is food.
Bull ants are amazing predators. They're voracious and incredibly efficient. They devour all in their path.
The tasty meal of spider is dragged back to the colony. And if obstacles are insurmountable, those trapped jaws are powerful enough to sever limbs and take spider drumsticks back, one at a time. To the uninitiated, the bull ant can be mistaken as vain. It looks like it's constantly grooming, but it's actually cleaning its sensors for battle.
Ants need to groom in order to clean their sensors, such as their antennas. Much as when we're driving our car, we need to clean our windshield if we want to be able to see.
It has to be on guard every moment it's away from the colony. There's no backup if it runs into trouble. And this is trouble. The deadly redback spider. From the black widow family, she's renowned for her super toxic venom and lightning speed. But the redback has something else for the unwary. A super-engineered web.
There's usually a number of components. It often has an upper area where the spider is hanging in the middle, and then, most importantly, it has a number of lines going down that are just covered with globs of glue, so that if something walks into these lines, they tend to break the lines. It causes a vibration going up, plus they get stuck in the glue. And as they struggle trying to get loose from this, then at that point, the spider comes down and nabs the prey.
She specializes in tailor-made straitjackets. With lightning speed, she spins a suffocating silk suit that's only worn once.
The way the redback gets the silk out of the spinnerets is on the fourth leg, it has a comb, and it combs the silk out of its spinnerets. Spider silk is considered to be stronger than steel. It's considered to be the strongest biopolymer known.
Few creatures leave a redback's web, and the bigger they are, the harder they fall. But can a smaller foe get the upper hand? This contest pits two agile killers head-to-head. Jaws and Venom versus Death Trap.
The bite of a bull ant's not gonna really do that much. What it needs to do is get a sting in and get that deadly venom inside that spider.
Here you've got a situation where you've got two predators that are about the same size, each of which has multiple lines of defense, and so it honestly could go either way.
This bull ant still hasn't found dinner for its colony. It forages deeper into a log, unaware of the deadly trap ahead.
Although the redback is venomous, actually her most important weapon is her web, and her web is like Kevlar dripping with superglue.
One false step is enough. The redback races to weave a deadly suit. But she has to be quick. If those jaws get her, or that stinger, the tables will turn.
All the bull ant needs is one single sting, and the redback spider is dead.
The bull ant's jaws are trapped. A sting shot is its only hope. But its captor is weaving at lightning speed. Every second makes it harder and harder to move. But as it's hoisted up, the ant breaks free and tries to bite.
The bull ant has these incredible, powerful mandibles that can give a really nasty bite. It's like you have a vice that's combined with a saw.
The spider needs a better suit. Fast. Again, her wraps subdue the ant. Only now can the redback get close enough to inject its venom. The deadly brew flows through two tiny fangs.
The venom is going to attack the nerves of the bull ant, killing it almost immediately.
All the spider needs to do is wait as her victim dies in a silk shroud. Far from the safety of its colony, a bull ant pays the price for going solo. No one heard it scream.
I don't think A redback that had fallen out of her web or was out of her web wandering on the ground had any chance against a bull ant. But a redback that's in her web, she has total control of the situation.
In nature's tiny world, an ant's life means something. For this skillful redback, it's a fresh meal before she's ready to kill again. When a tiger assassin bug and a silverback cross spider meet for dinner, only one will enjoy the victory feast. On any day in this Costa Rican jungle clearing, you'll find an unlikely hunter prowling the petals. With a cumbersome body and an alien head, the tiger assassin bug looks more like a clown than a killer. But there's nothing amusing about this predator.
They'll eat pretty much anything that they can handle, any small arthropod.
Bulbous compound eyes, attuned to color and movement, are constantly on the lookout for prey. When it strikes, thick front legs tipped with twin gripping claws pin the victim down. When an herbivorous katydid gets a tap on the shoulder, it doesn't even have time to leap clear. Ending its days impaled on one of the bug world's strangest and most effective weapons. Part dagger, part hypodermic needle. When the proboscis punctures flesh, the horror's only just beginning.
Once it's in, it starts injecting this nasty, nasty, paralyzing fluid that immediately makes its prey go immobile. Then it starts pouring digestive juices into the prey.
Having its main strike weapon attached to its face means the tiger assassin bug must always get dangerously close to its victim. But the silverback cross spider prefers to remain out of the firing line.
She sits there facing downward, with the pairs of legs arranged like a cross. Now, this is partially behavioral camouflage, but it also allows her to monitor each quadrant of the web simultaneously.
The silverback cross spider also lets her web take the hard work out of hunting. Thick silk patterns called stabilimentum reflect ultraviolet light.
Insects that collect flower pollen are drawn to any ultraviolet light source. So by putting the stablementa in the web, the spider is being ingenious. Not only is it attracting the pollen gatherers, but it's also attracting their insect predators.
Any flying, jumping insect is at risk. Within seconds, this katydid is trapped in a silken spin cycle.
When she reaches the prey, she'll begin throwing silk around it as fast as she can, but using her long legs to keep it at a distance. Once it's safely hogtied, then she'll move in and deliver the venom.
Her snack disposed of, the silverback cross spider settles back into her web. Her shape and sheen break up her silhouette, making her almost impossible for many animals to see. But if there's clear and present danger, she'll adopt a bizarre defensive strategy.
The silverback will start bouncing the web back and forth, adding a little bit of energy every time until the entire thing becomes a blur. It makes it impossible for a predator to focus on the spider, let alone catch it.
But the silverback isn't the only seasoned killer in this jungle clearing. Will its silky skins be enough to defeat a trained assassin. Night in the leafy killing fields. A tiger assassin bug is poised to attack a silverback cross spider. But she's not intimidated. There will be war. The tiger assassin bug has a stabbing proboscis that injects toxic saliva. The silverback cross spider throws strong silk to immobilize its victim before finishing it off with venom. The assassin bug crash lands in the spider's lair. The owner rushes over. She hesitates, sensing danger. Then, in a blur of wrapping, she pulls out silk like bandages. The tiger is trapped. Or is she? The silverback tries to make sure.
This spider species venom isn't particularly strong, but it's still adequate for the job. Now that she's delivered the first dose, she'll sit back, wait for it to take effect, and then move in for the kill and collect her bounty.
Hoping her victim poses no further threat, the silverback cautiously returns. But the tiger has one final surprise. Its proboscis stabs through the silk, dripping with toxic saliva.
The assassin bug would still love to get its proboscis and paralyze the spider that's attacking it.
The tiger assassin bug tries to stab, but the silverback carefully keeps her foe at a safe distance. Until eventually, the venom claims the feisty assassin's life.
That battle may have been lost, but it made a valiant attempt to survive.
The silverback cross spider will never know how close she came to sharing her victim's fate. What happens when a gray tree runner mantis and a lichen huntsman drop their invisibility cloaks? Their true and deadly colors are revealed. One of the most powerful tricks a magician can master is to make things disappear. And in the monster bug world, invisibility can mean the difference between life and death.
Camouflage is probably the most important form of defense in the bug world, even for really capable fighters like Mantis. Once your foes spot you, you have a good chance of being injured or even killed. They can't see you, they can't hurt you.
The gray tree runner mantis has perfected the art of blending in. It moves about the forest like a shadow.
This guy is like a ninja who can slip through the enemy territory without being seen, and then launches lightning-fast attack, catching the prey totally unaware.
Even the mantis's massive compound eyes are striped, so their enemies can't see them in the trees. Made from hundreds of tiny units called omatidia, they're among the sharpest binoculars in the insect world. Detecting prey where others only see shadows.
The size of the gray tree runner's eyes gives a great indication of how important they are. They can spot things that other bugs would have no chance of seeing.
The mantis hits its target with pinpoint accuracy. It grabs this grasshopper like a kung fu master snatches a passing fly. But holding it down is a bigger challenge. The grasshopper's legs bristle with spikes. One well-placed kick could deliver a permanent KO. But the mantis has raptorial legs. Once you're trapped, there's little chance of escape.
The raptorial legs of all mantises are extremely efficient weapons, even on small species like the gray tree runner. Once they've spiked their prey, they hold onto it while the mandibles start inflicting the serious wounds.
Imprisoned, the grasshopper pays the ultimate price. It's eaten alive. There's no mercy in this forest. Not even for the mantis. There are other invisible eyes watching it. The lichen huntsman takes the power of invisibility to the ultimate level.
The lichen huntsman's ability to hide out in the open gives it a real predatory advantage.
If the mantis is like a forest shadow, then this spider is like the ghostly phantom of the underworld. She could be anywhere, anytime, and you'd never know.
They're relatively flat spiders that pin themselves against the bark of trees. They've got lots of hairs on their legs that make them blend into the background. They're almost impossible to find.
Those clusters of hair not only camouflage, they double as motion detectors or unwitting passers-by. If all else fails, there's her all-seeing eyes. Four at the front, two on top, and another pair at the rear. Poised in the perfect ambush position, body flattened, head hidden, she has 360-degree vision. At the first sight of prey, the phantom morphs from ghost to demon.
The huntsman spiders have rotated the legs so that they're lateral to the body. And what this means is that they're able to move sideways as effectively as they're able to move forwards. This gives them a much wider range of motion so that they're able to move around fast.
As this cockroach discovers, there's no sneaking past the ghost who waits. The cockroach won't make this mistake twice. The sharp-eyed gray tree runner mantis is nowhere near as naive. It knows the perils of passing this ghostly gatekeeper. But it too wants another meal, and a fellow shapeshifter would make a tasty treat. The gray tree runner mantis is a stealthy killer in a camouflage suit. It springs from nowhere to snatch its prey and eat it alive. Then disappears back into the forest like a shapeshifter. It's not the only ghostly shadow in the forest. The lichen huntsman also has extraordinary powers of invisibility. So when two masters of camouflage come face to face, conflict is inevitable.
You've got a face-off here with the mantid with its good vision and the huntsman spider very close looking at the mantid. And so the question is, who's gonna move first?
It's a poker game where it's high stakes, life or death. Just inches away from its opponent, the mantis tries to bluff with the ultimate poker face.
The mantis certainly isn't behaving like he's scared. He's almost mocking the spider, saying they're just grooming himself, like, I'm not even concerned about you at all. He's probably relying on his speed to run away if things get a little bit too much.
But the spider's not fooled. No amount of speed will protect the mantis now. The ghostly spider's fangs pierce the mantis's thorax like massive poison darts, stopping it dead in its tracks. The spider eats at leisure.
So what she's going to do is she'll mash up the mantid, regurgitate digestive enzymes, suck up the prey. Depending on the size of the mantid, it'll take anywhere from half an hour to hours.
When it's over, it's time to put out the trash. And the phantom of the underworld fades invisibly back into the forest. When a geophyllid centipede grapples with a Costa Rican cellar spider, it's silky skills versus straight-up savagery. The rainforests of Central America are rife with skilled killers. But when it comes to speed and aggression, the geophyllid centipede is in a class of its own.
If you shrunk a freight train down to just a few inches and gave it 152 legs and a hyperactive and aggressive attitude and a pair of venom claws, you'd end up with a geophyllid centipede. The only thing guaranteed to slow this guy down is death.
Swift and sure-footed, as flexible as a yoga master, this restless hunter can handle not just rough terrain, but in some cases, no terrain, flowing across crevices like its own rope bridge on 76 pairs of legs. Each body segment is protected top and bottom by armored plates. At the rear, a pair of anal legs mimics the centipede's antennae, so predators aren't sure which is the dangerous end. When it tracks down prey, those legs become multiple weapons of war.
The instant he makes contact with the prey, he wraps as many legs around it as he can and just ties it up. Each one of these legs is tipped with a very sharp claw, so this is like trying to wrestle a snake that's inside of a barbed wire suit.
With the victim pinned, the centipede puts its venom claws to work, injecting a lethal chemical brew.
Most centipede venoms contain a chemical called 5-hydroxytryptamine, which is the neurotransmitter that we call serotonin. This not only produces pain in the prey, but also increases the absorption of other toxins that break down the cell walls and the tissue.
What the venom doesn't do, the vicious claws finish off. The centipede starts tunneling through the katydid and devours its victim from the inside, right up to the eyeballs. All that's left is a shell, discarded like an empty glove. Nearby, another ruthless hunter is setting her trap. Looking delicate, even frail, the Costa Rican cellar spider is deceptively deadly.
Cellar spiders look so delicate, but actually they're really quite tough predators.
For this web warrior, being neat isn't a high priority.
The cellar spiders build a fairly messy web. They hang upside down in this web, and then they may have lines going down to the ground that are relatively sticky.
When a bug blunders into her gossamer curtain, those extra long, thin legs start throwing silk thread in a rapid-fire frenzy of wrapping.
When the cellar spider wraps its prey, it isn't putting out big swaths of silk the way some of the other spiders do. They're essentially just putting out a single line, but they do it extraordinarily fast, and so they can really wrap up and do it fast.
But the female cellar spider is about to receive another visitor. The geophyllid centipede is on its way. What happens when the silk stalker is struck by a runaway train?
Anyone who thinks cellar spiders are harmless doesn't know they're spiders. The centipede could be hog-tied in an instant, and then the only way he could break free would be brute force.
In a Central American rainforest, a hungry Costa Rican cellar spider is desperate to feed. A geophyllid centipede is a potential smorgasbord, but it could also make a meal of her. The cellar spider smothers her enemy with silk before delivering a venomous bite. The geophyllid centipede uses claw-tipped legs to grip its foe, and venom claws to inject a toxic chemical cocktail. With customary bravado, the centipede hurtles onto the web.
That many feet, the odds of getting tangled up are enormous. If he doesn't break free quickly, the web owner will come down and scope him out.
The cellar spider reacts instantly, lassoing the intruder with strand after strand of sticky silk.
The first thing the centipede would normally do when being overwhelmed by a threat is head for the nearest crevice at high speed. But that's clearly impossible to do when you're being wound up with thread after thread of super sticky spider silk.
The trapped centipede lashes about like a demented garden hose, trying to score a direct hit with its deadly venom claws. But the spider is always just out of range.
This is where silk wrapping with these incredibly long legs comes in handy. She cannot get too close to that centipede. The way she is wrapping is amazing. Look at how fast this is.
The cellar spider goes into overdrive. Her legs are a blur as she throws silk at a rate of 6 loops per second. But the centipede is just as quick to break the ties that bind.
This is an epic fight back. If he can get those venom claws into the spider, just one bite would be enough to turn this fight upside down.
The spider sneaks in several bites, but her venom is relatively weak and slow-acting. But eventually, with her victim's head pinned and its body twisted like a pretzel, the spider seems to have won. But like a horror movie monster, the centipede suddenly breaks free once more.
This is amazingly risky business with this centipede getting its head free all of the time. She's putting out an enormous amount of silk. At some point, she's going to run out of the silk that she has available.
Her silk stores are used up. The spider is throwing thin air, and the centipede's head is still free. In desperation, she dispenses her few remaining drops of venom.
The centipede may have finally succumbed, but talk about combat endurance. He made the spider use every last inch of its silk, every last drop of its venom, and every last bit of its energy. He won't be remembered as a wimp.
It's been an epic battle. Now, the epic feast. The cellar spider spews digestive juices into the centipede's body and sucks up the liquefied flesh.
Okay, I know it's dead, but I wouldn't be surprised to see this centipede spring back into action one last time.
When a badge huntsman faces off against a spider-hunting scorpion, it's a head-to-tail battle. The badge huntsman is a running, climbing master of one-on-one combat. Equally at home on the ground and among the grass. It's the commando of this forest, and it has the stripes to prove it.
Badge huntsmen are really attractive huntsman spiders. They've got this gorgeous patch on its belly that's black and sometimes purpley colors. When they're defending themselves, they'll rear up their legs and show the bands on their legs.
Every badge huntsman species has a unique pattern, mimicking an all-seeing eye. The war paint makes them look big and mean. They're also built for speed.
They have essentially rotated their legs from this posture in most of the spiders into a sideways posture. The movement of these legs and the changing of the joints means that they're able to move very rapidly side to side.
Blindingly quick, badge huntsmen chase down their prey in any part of the forest.
The badge huntsmen are very, very fast spiders. The underside of their legs are covered with something known as scopula. These act as suction cups so that they can essentially walk upside down anywhere.
When they attack, they inject a toxic cocktail with two super sharp fangs. The venom first paralyzes, then triggers cell death. These poison darts mean the badge huntsman is not afraid to take on bigger opponents. This katydid is about to be toast. Actually, once those digestive juices go to work, it's more like a green smoothie. But fancy badges don't cut it with these guys. Spider hunting scorpions. And they've been around the block a few times.
Scorpions outlasted the dinosaurs. They outlasted the Neanderthals. They've made it through every form of climate change imaginable. The reason is that they're incredibly adaptable and very skilled predators.
Fast on its feet, a tough armored shell, the spider hunting scorpion is a small, mobile fighter with a long reach.
The pinchers are an effective weapon because they're very long. This gives a scorpion a really good reach, making it difficult for another animal to get close without being grabbed and stung.
With claws that grab and a stinger that delivers paralyzing venom, it's a stealthy nocturnal hunter. An all-night diner with an appetite for fresh spider. Two forest killers are about to face off. Tooth and tail.
What I would suggest that this huntsman spider do is approach it from the back end, grab the tail so it can't sting it, and bite the tail, and then I would back off.
It's an old-fashioned duel, but there's no code of honor. This will be a duel to the death. It's midnight in the forest as two killers face off. Each waiting for the other to make a move. The spider opens with a sidestep, but the scorpion grabs its leg. The wound is a badge of courage for this huntsman.
There's a predetermined juncture in most spiders where they're able to lose the legs, and there is a sphincter that closes off so the spider doesn't bleed to death.
But she's not the only spider prowling in the forest tonight. Another huntsman comes along, flashing its badge. But after tasting spider flesh, the scorpion's keen for more. Now it's back for a kill. The badge huntsman will attack with lightning speed and hypodermic fangs. The spider killer grabs first and tries to land a death blow. But the huntsman fends off the stinger with its long legs, hoping to sink in its fangs.
When the scorpion gets into a difficult tussle, he uses his pinchers and his tail like a wrecking ball, just throwing them around, hoping to knock the prey off their feet. And if they stumble, bang, they get in a sting.
The wrecking ball overcomes the commando and lands a clean shot to the back of the badge huntsman's head.
The scorpion's venom acts very, very quickly on the prey. It's like a flow of burning acid through the body. Starts shutting down the vital organs and the nervous system. Once the venom's in the bloodstream, it's good night and don't come back.
No need to hurry this meal. Meat always tastes better if it's hung. The scorpion feasts on its victim's body. A once proud badge of honor is trash on the forest floor.